Alright, good. Everyone showed up for the operations order. We're going to fill out some more information that we gave out during the warning order about a half hour ago. Now, for those of you that didn't hear or weren't at the warning order, or you weren't with the unit when this war started, you joined us later on. We have an emergency communications network set up with other militias around us. Approximately 30 minutes ago, we got a call, the code word over it from one of our fellow militias, that they were hit and overrun up last night. They're currently escaping and evading. This emergency network, this emergency channel, is only used for that. It's in emergencies. We have a series of passwords that are set up for it, for situations like a unit is overrun or they need support for a mission. Like last month, we got the call for one of the units needed help for attacking a combat outpost. Well, we just got the word that that unit is the one that's been overrun. We got some of the details. I'll put out the operations order here, and then we're going to get moving. Now, get out your notebooks and copy this down. I realized the mosquitoes are bad this morning. Hey, ain't nothing we can do about it, so let's hurry up and let's get on the move. Okay, situation. Enemy. Approximately 2 hours ago, an enemy combined force of primarily light infantry supported by mortars and a company-sized element of strikers to include mobile gun systems attacked and overran the Pine Bluffs Patriots at their base camp on Blueberry Hill, which is over here. These forces are believed to have come from Forward Operating Base Ladybird, located down here, and from Combat Outpost Knox up here, which is the one that we helped the Pine Bluff Patriots hit last month. Now, we believe that the enemy is using RQ-7 Shadow UAVs to cover this area to try to track down some of the survivors that were able to make it out of their perimeter. Friendly forces. Pine Bluff Patriots are escaping and evading, heading to their emergency rally point along the Snakebite River here. They had to leave most of their equipment and supplies behind. Now, our mission. The Green Mountain Militia will link up with as many Pine Bluff Patriot survivors as possible at their emergency rally point, which is here. That's where their base camp was. They're on the way over this direction. Their emergency rally point is here where this creek meets the Snakebite River. Now, if we will link up with them in this location, we'll evacuate them as best as possible, take care of their casualties. If needed, we will engage the enemy forces to accomplish this task. But I want the enemy to believe that the PBs are still running around dispersed inside their AO to the west of the river. So we're going to hold our fire as much as possible. Alright? Now, for the execution on this, the company will move quickly from our current base camp, which is over here. We'll move at a high rate of speed over to the emergency rally point, but not all of us will be part of this mission. We will have some stay-behinds, which will stay with the XO for continuing with breaking down the base camp. Now, we're going to need for that mission one squad from each platoon. They're the ones that are going to be handling the majority of your game carts and that stuff and heavy equipment. The headquarters squad will be in charge of that operation. They will be moving the base camp over to this area right here. That's where we're going to link up with them after the operation. We anticipate that the new base camp will be in this area over here near the lake. It's a base camp that we've used in the past. It's pretty wooded, and we shouldn't have to worry about getting snuck up on and that stuff. It'll allow us to take care of the PBs wounded and that stuff and get them integrated into our unit, because I doubt there's enough survivors that they're going to be reforming as their own company again. Now the rest of the unit here, well, as I said, we're going to move at a high rate of speed, go into the emergency rally point, maintain security at all times. Now, when we're approximately 800 meters short of the rally point, which will put us up around here, we're going to set up our objective rally point. We will drop our rucks at that location. Each platoon will leave off 2 personnel. One of them needs to be a combat lifesaver in case they have problems back there. They will also need to have a radio with them in case we need them to move forward or bug out, whatever is required. Now, at that objective rally point is going to be where we're going to split into our teams to go into our areas for this operation. First platoon, you guys are going to be splitting off one squad to go up to where we have our boats cached at, up here, where this junction of this creek and the Snakebite River is at. Only one squad. Make sure they got a radio, make sure they have a CLS with them, because we need all the medics with us down here. They will pick up the boats, they will come down river, they will stop at approximately this bed to the river here. They will stay on our side, and they will wait for orders to come down, give us support. Hopefully we won't need them, but if the PB's got to cross quickly en masse, we're going to call them down and they're going to assist. The rest of your platoon, the other 2 squads, you're going to be putting in a defensive line along the eastern edge of the Snakebite River, north of the emergency rally point. So you got the north end of our defensive line. Now, second platoon, you're going to be dispatching one squad to go approximately 500 meters downriver, which will be done around here, to set up a security position. Same thing, send a combat lifesaver with them, make sure they got a radio. They're going to be monitoring the Snakebite River in this direction to make sure the enemy does not send some type of patrol boat or something up the river and could cause us problems up here. If the enemy does start doing that, they need to engage if possible. Try to hold them off, especially during the crossing. If the enemy starts showing up with some type of riverine force at that point, they need to pour as much fire as possible onto them so we can get this crossing accomplished successfully. The rest of your platoon, your remaining 2 squads, will take up the south end of our defensive line. Spread them out down here, junction of the creek and the Snakebite going south. Now, the heavy weapons platoon. You guys are going to leave your 50 cal teams, your M2 teams, with the XO to assist with the pack up and the move out to the new base camp. But we are going to need some of your equipment with you. We're going to need your mortars. We're going to need your Mark 19s. Now, I want you to divide up your mortars into 2 teams. We're going to set up one up over here. You remember that clearing we used when we did our crossing a month ago? Set up one mortar team there, and then over here it's a little bit clearer inside those fields back there. We can set up the other batch of mortars over there. Their mission will be to provide indirect fire if needed. If we get engaged up here during the operation. They're going to be providing our longer range indirect fires. We're not going to cross that forward observer. I understand you'd like that, but I don't want our people caught on the east side of the river. So try to get your forward observers, or at least the ones that are trained to be the forward observers, into positions on here with the rest of the company to get good eyes on the other side so we can do some calls for fire if needed. Now the Mark 19s. The Mark 19s are going to be setting up approximately 50 meters back from the rest of the unit, from our defensive line. They're going to be our secondary line, or fallback line. They're going to provide indirect fire support right on the other side of the river as needed during the crossing. So make sure the NCOs that are in charge of those teams, their radios work, they're synced in, okay? Because they're probably going to be getting calls for fire from 1st Platoon and 2nd Platoon. Now, engineers, you guys are going to be setting up defensive line back with the Mark 19s, 50 meters back from the rest of us. You're going to be our reserve force. You're going to be covering our rear to make sure we do not get attacked. So you're going to have to split off a fire team to occupy that hill that's over here, to get watch on the roads, make sure we don't get any traffic coming up on us from behind. And if we do, you know, dispatch a squad to try to stop that traffic so we can get this operation accomplished as quick as possible. Now, I'll throw this in here quick so that you guys get this written up. The order of march on the way up to the emergency rally point will be 1st Platoon, heavy weapons teams, then 2nd Platoon, engineers, you're going to pull up the rear. Medics are going to be spread out amongst the platoon with their with the company with their respective platoons until we get up to the emergency rally point, or the objective rally point. Okay. Now, the Pine Bluffs Patriots, they're currently running around over here. Some of them apparently squirted out in onesies and twosies. They're trying to make it over to their emergency rally point, just like us. They have a location where they know the unit gets hit. They're supposed to move to, link up with any survivors. They know that they got to head to this location. So hopefully the ones that are out there by themselves or in buddy teams, they're going to make it over there in time for the crossing. Now, the highest ranking person that is currently over there that we know of, that we know made it out of their perimeter, is their executive officer. That's the person that's given us the intel. He has approximately a squad plus with him, and that does include wounded. But he's trying to pick up as many of those onesies and twosies over here and get them over to the rally point. At that rally point, they have their boats. Those are going to be the primary means for crossing over to the east side of the river over to us. At the end of the operation, their boats, the ones that they use to get across, the ones that are still serviceable, and our boats will move south downriver to down in this location where this creek meets in on the river. So past this little sleepy town here, hopefully they're still asleep, and we get those boats hidden down in there. Now, our service and support. We will not be opening up any caches for this operation, other than maybe over at our new base camp. That's going to be up to the XO. Rucksacks will be cached at the objective rally point, which I told you is going to be approximately 800 meters back. Now, medics, make sure they know, pack as much medical supplies as they can. We do not know the condition of the wounded. Some of them are probably going to be pretty bad. They're going to be litter casualties. They're not going to be walking out on their own. They're not going to be ambulatory. We need to be prepared for that. So make sure we bring some litters with us. And also, let's clean off a few of the game carts, cross-level the equipment over onto the other carts in your platoons. Cut some poles, have them with. We will tie them to the game carts, stretch some ponchos between them, use them like an old style travois or something on some of those casualties. So we can have them essentially dragged behind us with most of the weight being on the wheels for the game cart. Now, extra ammo. Everyone should be carrying an extra bandolier. I'm going to authorize we go Vietnam style with some belts of 7.62. So get a couple belts hooked together, string them across your chest so that we can pass them off to the 240s. Saw ammo, make sure to distribute some drums amongst your people. Get them in those assault packs, keep them on the bandoliers hanging, whatever. We're going to be going in heavy on ammo also, but keep weight in mind, especially for our pace for when we're on the move. Also, gather up every high concentration smoke grenade we have. Heavy weapons, I know we don't have too many smoke rounds left for the mortars. Bring what little you have. We may need them farther back to provide a better smoke screen, especially if they somehow are able to get some of those strikers up to put fire on the crossing. Now, command and signal on this. We're currently talking with the XO from the PBs on FM channel 95.5. The XO is going to be monitoring that channel. He's also monitoring the emergency freak in case any of the others get on that. We will be monitoring 95.5 when we're en route. If they hear anything else over the emergency freak, they're going to send it over the company net to me. Now the company, when we're in march order up to the emergency rally point, we're going to use FRS channel 2. Do not use it unless you have to. Emergencies only on that. When we're on the move, move silent, hand and arm signals as much as possible, whispered messages. Now, the signals that are going to be set up or are currently coordinated with their XO, when they get up to where their boats are at, just like us, they have those orange bicycle flags hidden on the boats. They're going to take 2 of those, post them at the junction here of the river and the creek. They're going to cross them. They're going to put those in position. That's going to be the signal that he has made it there. When we get into position on our side, we're going to take a tan t-shirt. We're getting one out of someone's gear from in a talk. A tan t-shirt, we are going to be either putting that on a stick as our flag right across from that creek, or we're going to hang it from a tree. It's going to be visible. They see that, they know we're there in the area. If we get up there, we see that the flags are in position, we got the cross there, well, we're still going to post that t-shirt there to make sure that they can see we're in position. Now the crossing signal that they're going to be ready to come across, they're going to be taking a bicycle flag. One of them's going to come out right in the open, and he's going to be up near that crossed flags if possible, and he's going to start waving it back and forth. He's going to be trying to get our attention with that flag. Do not fire on him, all right? Make sure you people know that. Do not fire on him. He's a friendly. We will acknowledge by whoever's closest to that t-shirt. He will grab it and he will flag it back and forth also. At that point, that's when the crossing is going to begin, and they're going to go as quick as possible getting their people across. Now, we're going to stay in position here a maximum of 1 hour. I'm anticipating we're only going to be there about 30 minutes. if the enemy shows up and this crossing is starting to be done under fire, well, we get everyone across. Once we get the confirmation everyone's across from their XO, we don't see any of our people still on the other side here, any of our fellow militia, then we're going to break contact. We're going to pull back to our secondary line, and we're going to hold in that position for a bit. We'll stay there a few minutes. We will, pop smoke, whatever's needed, cease fires, melt away. We'll stay back in that position for approximately 15-20 minutes. Maybe we'll send 1 or 2 people forward. At that point, they covertly will watch the other side, get a assessment of what's going on, come back, report to us. We'll see if we're going to move forward again to reoccupy our position to cross more people, or if we're just going to break contact. Now, the signal that will go out over the radio to let us know that the operation is done and we need to move with the casualties and as much as possible over to the rally point with the rest of the company. The password, the call sign will be Hummingbird. Understand? Hummingbird. Make sure you all get that written down. Now, call signs for this operation will be the normal call signs that we use in the unit. First platoon, you're going to be Payne. Second platoon, Henry. Heavy weapons, Baker. And it's going to have to be 1, 2, and 3. Baker's 1 and 2 will be your mortar teams. Baker 3 will be your Mark 19s. Engineers, your call sign's going to be Wood. Now, that's what I got. Does anyone have any questions? Something I may have mixed? The boats. Alright, yeah. Once the operation is done, the boats will pull back, link up, come down to here. They will try to link up with us back over here. They know, make sure to tell them our anticipated route for getting over there. If they can link up with us on the way, good. Otherwise, they need to make their own way over to the rally point with the rest of the company, which is right up here. Anything else? Bitches, gripes, complaints? I understand you don't like working with the PBs, but you know what? They need our help. That's why we're doing this. So put any animosities you have with them, Sergeant, to the side. They need our help. We're going in to help them out. Anyone else? Alright, I want to be getting ready to leave within 10 mics. Get back to your people. Make sure the pack up is done. I want you lined up, ready to move out, just like our standard SOP for pulling out at base camp. I want you ready to go within 10 minutes, because in 10 minutes, we're going to move, and we're going to be moving quickly. Anyone that's left behind, they're going to have to stick with the XO, and they're going to be digging latrines for them. All right, let's get moving.